Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of the Sarah Speaks podcast, the podcast where we learn, we grow, we lead, and we learn to live with intention. I'm here again, your podcast host, Sarah Esangwedo Ajose Adiogun, and in today's podcast, we'll be talking about some truths that we all need to hear if we must succeed together. Today's episode, we will ignite purpose, we will share deep truths, and we will empower ourselves to lead boldly. And today I'll just share a single secret with you. And that secret is that there is no perfect time. There is no perfect time to do something. There is no perfect time to make a decision. There is no perfect time to take action. Stop waiting for the perfect time. If you find this topic interesting, please grab a cup of tea, get a cup of water, grab a comfortable seat, your notepad and a pen, and we'll dive right in. Let me say it loud and let me say it clear. Perfection is a myth. There is nothing like perfect. Say, oh, the stars haven't aligned. I've not heard that drum beat in my soul. It's just not, it's just not speaking to me. I need it to talk to me. It doesn't just look right. There's something wrong about the current situation. Perfection is a myth. Success happens to those who take action, despite the confusion, despite the circumstances. The Bible tells us that Abraham left his father's house for a land that he didn't know. He stepped out in faith. He took action. And that is why today we remember him as the father of faith. What are you waiting for? There is no time where we can have all the answers on this side of eternity. No time. No man knows it well enough. No man understands it well enough. And if all the data speaks to something today, that data can change overnight and the story flips on its head. So while we're waiting for the perfect time, the world is not waiting for us. People talk about time like we have all the time in the world. I can spend all the time I require to just get it right the way I want it. I can't take a decision. I can't step out when I don't have all of the facts at my fingertips, when I don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. The Bible tells us that it's only God that knows tomorrow. No man knows tomorrow. All we can do is perhaps predict what tomorrow will be like based on what we know today. Perchance, we might be right. So anyone waiting to have all the details, all the facts, waiting for the stars to align in the proper way, waiting for the drum beats in their soul that tells them that yes, they are moving in the right direction, waiting for a perfect plan that will not fail, that when they start execution, they will end it. Let me tell you, the only way to succeed is to learn, grow, change, iterate, come back again. It's a cycle and it never ends. We cannot know everything today that will deliver all that we need for our lives. But we must take a decision. We must take action and we must step out. The Bible says it in Ecclesiastes chapter 11 verse 4 that he who waits looks to the wind, he will not sow. You are waiting for the perfect time for all elements of creation to align so that when you plant, you know. It doesn't just work that way. And he says, whoever looks to the cloud, you will not reap. When you are waiting for the clouds to tell you if you should plant, you will not reap. Times and seasons, they wait for no man. They move on. And yes, we talk about restoration, but one thing I keep saying is that every day lost cannot be regained. You can perchance say, oh, I tried to catch up. The child you gave birth to 21 years ago will be 21 years old today. Yes, you gave birth to a child today, but that child will not be 21 years old today. He will be a baby. And you will need to go through the stages of that childhood for that particular child. So yes, there's restoration. We both have a son, but the man who started 21 years ago, the child is 21 years old. So that's just the illustration that we use. In simple terms, if you keep waiting for the perfect condition, you will never start, you will never act, and you will never achieve anything. That is the definition of failure. You know, many of us have been sold this idea that before you start your business, you need the perfect business plan. Yes, a business plan is needful, but it is not perfect. It gives you an idea of what you are stepping into and how you could potentially execute that idea in such a way that you can succeed. But anyone who wrote a business plan before will tell you that it is a plan, it is not cast in stone. As you begin execution, new truths unfold, new circumstances, you learn and you grow. And from what you have learned and how you have grown, better ways to achieve your goals begins to emerge. Many people fail not because they don't have a plan, but because they have not applied the new information and learnings that they have in the course of executing that plan to improve on the plan. The plan you had yesterday, there is room for improvement today because today you have learned something new. That is why they say we learn to fail forward. You try, you fail, you get up and you move, putting what you have learned through the failed process to ensure that you do not fail in the same way you failed yesterday today. That is what we call learning, and that is what is based on wisdom. Those who have succeeded in life did not wait for perfection. Ask Dangote, ask Elon Musk, ask Oprah Winfrey. Let's talk about some of these people even. Did they ever think that they would succeed as well as they have succeeded? Were they planning to make a world record when they started out? Many people who we look at today, who have become some of the most important icons of success globally, never started out to be icons. They just took action and continued moving in the trajectory of success. And today we study them and their business ideas and their work ethics in business schools all over the world because they took action, they learned, and they moved forward. There is not one successful person that doesn't have a story to tell. Let's start with Abraham. The Bible tells us in the book of Genesis that God told him, leave your people, leave your father's house. I will take you to a land that I will show you. Listen, he didn't say, leave Benin and go to Lagos, or leave Igwebe and go to London. He said, just leave. As you are going, I will show you where you are going. A land I will show you. But Abraham stepped out in faith. He didn't have a 5-year plan. He didn't have a 10-year plan, but he believed in something. What do you believe in? What is that idea that has been drumming up in your head to say, do something about it, and you are waiting for the perfect timing? What is that business that you need to do? What is that recipe that you need to write? The world is waiting to taste the amazing recipes from you. But we are waiting for the stars to align. I don't think it has ever aligned for anyone. Those who seem like the stars have aligned for them are those who took action when they were in the midst of uncertainty. Let me tell you something. Progress starts when perfection ends. We play the excellence game. We play the consistency game. We play the discipline game. We aim for perfection, but we do not let it stop us from taking action. In my journey, as a worker, as a leader, as a coach, as a public servant, as an entrepreneur, I can share one insight with you today. Success never comes to those who wait for perfect timing. Success visits the homes, the lives, and the businesses of those who take action. Action precedes success. Let's talk about Reed Hastings, the co-founder of Netflix. He didn't wait for streaming to become a thing. In fact, he was discouraged. He wasn't supported, but he took action. And today, like they say, the rest is history. Netflix is one of the most successful brands that we have in the world today because he dared to step out in faith, believing in his vision and knowing that as he continues and is consistent in applying the discipline, the knowledge that he has, in iterating and learning and growing through the process, that perchance he will hit the golden pot at the end of the rainbow. And yes, he did. He really did. Talk about Sarah Blakely, who had just $5,000 in her account, but dared to start a world-renowned brand today, a $1 billion enterprise today, Sparks. What if she had waited until she could get the perfect loans, until she could, get the perfect source, until she had enough money in her account? Would Sparks be a thing today? I don't think so. But she did. She took a step in faith. She believed in herself and she believed in her idea. And she was ready to make the sacrifice and take the risks to see if her idea was good enough. Yes, it was good enough. She iterated, she changed, she learned along the way. But she built a multi-million-dollar enterprise because she dared. She took action. And I'll tell you something for free. You don't need perfection. You need motion, you need action. You need learning, you need growing. That is what determines those who succeed. And I don't know who said this, but it says, start before you are ready. You don't need to be ready. Start. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Take the moment and make it perfect. I will start today. It doesn't matter what the odds are. I will take action. I will do my best. I will learn from it. I will apply my learnings and I will grow. I will take the moment and I will make it perfect. Let me tell you something. Anyone that succeeds in life has faith, because faith propels action. In anything that you do, faith propels action. For you to take a chance on your dreams, you need to believe in it. For you to invest your hard-earned earnings or go and take a loan to start a business, you must believe in that idea. Let me tell you something for free. Faith is not passive, it's active. When you see someone that has faith, they take action. That's why the Bible says faith without works is dead. You cannot say you have faith and you are sleeping with your faith somewhere and waiting for the stars to align. It doesn't work that way. Many Christians say they have faith, but they have not put that faith to action. Until you put your faith to action, until you dare. That's why the Bible says that the righteous are bold as a lion. If you are a Christian, you are bold, you are courageous, you take decisions, you take that step. You believe in the process. You pray about it and you believe that this God that I serve, He won't let me fall, He will hold me up. It doesn't mean that you make foolish decisions, like the devil was telling Jesus to jump out of a story building or jump off the mountain. I'm not saying go and make foolish decisions, but faith is action. It's active. It's a verb. You do. You act. That's what it does. That's why we are told in the book of Hebrews chapter 11 verse 8 that it was by faith that Abraham left his father's house. He obeyed God because he believed, he had faith, so he took action. Faith has a voice, it speaks. And it says, I might not have all the information necessary, but I trust the process. I trust my God. I trust the data that I have. I trust this idea that I have and my ability to make it work. I trust the knowledge that I have. Faith works when there is trust. David didn't wait for the perfect time to face Goliath. Esther didn't wait for the perfect time to speak up, stand before the king, and speak up for her people. When Jesus was picking his disciples, he did not pick 12 perfect people. He picked 12 imperfect people to carry out the greatest mission of all time. If he had waited for perfection, I wonder if he would have gotten 12 perfect people to walk the path of salvation with him. It took 12 normal human beings, men like you and I, to carry the message of salvation and change the world for good. Let me ask you a simple question. What is that idea that has been ringing a bell in your head, but you have failed to birth? Maybe you are saying, I don't have enough clarity. I don't have all the data that I need right now. I don't have enough information. I don't have enough capital. My children are still too young. I'm taking care of them. They need to grow up first. I'm still in school. Oh, let me finish my course first. I don't have a perfect strategy. I really need a good business plan. And I don't have all the information to get the kind of business plan that I'm looking for. We have all sorts of excuses. And the one that beat me whole was when I heard that the day I was going to start, the sun did not shine the way I wanted it to shine. He told me that God did not fully shine his light under my idea, so I had to wait. People come up with all sorts. We believe in all sorts. But at the end of the day, clarity comes with movement. As you move forward, as you go into action, as you begin execution, things begin to line up. Things become clearer. The data that you have is put to the test. It is validated or not, but you begin to gather new data that enables you make better decisions. And as you make better decisions, new opportunities open up to you. And as you harness those new opportunities, success is birthed. Your action is the seed. And let me tell you something, until that seed is planted, no one could ever tell how big a tree it would become. That is why no man, no scientist, no one has ever been able to say, this particular mango seed that you have, when you plant it, the tree will not grow more than 2 meters high. Once it's 2 meters, it will stop growing. Please, if you see that scientist, introduce me to them. All they can tell you is that based on the kind of seed this is, and the kind of condition under which you are planting it, and the way you maintain it, and what you put into it, this seed has the potential to become this great. Potential. No one can give you a definite projection for the potential of that seed. And it's the same with our ideas. They are seeds. And when we plant it, the way we nourish it, the way we work at it, the discipline we exhibit, the learning, the growing is what determines the altitude. Let's look at Elon Musk. I've read that he works 80-hour weeks. A normal person works 40-hour weeks. He does times 2 of that, and at times more. He sleeps on the shop floors. If he does 80-hour weeks, that means he works for 16 hours in a day out of the 24 hours. And there's this book I've read that talks about the other 8 hours. You work for 8 hours, you sleep for 8 hours. What do you do with the other 8 hours? He has found his own. He works with the other 8 hours. Robert Paligiani, the other 8 hours. Read that book. It will tell you that there is still a lot of potential for each and every one of us to do much more and be much more. Because time waits for no one. The more you invest your time productively, the more time will work in your best interests. So everyone who thinks that they can sleep until midday every day and do nothing, but suddenly the idea will come, the best idea in the universe, the perfect idea that will catapult them into success. I apologize that I have to use this word, is being delusional. They are not telling themselves the truth. The truth is that if you waste your time, the wasted time will waste your life. Isaiah 30:21 tells us that whether you turn to the left or the right, you will hear the voice in your ear telling you this is the way to go, walk in it. For you to hear the voice, for you to get that direction, you must be walking. You cannot be sitting and the voice will tell you this is the way to go, walk in it. No, you must be walking. It meets you plying your trade. It meets you doing what you should do, and then it can give you direction on the way to go. There is no perfect idea, no perfect strategy. You will tweak, you will learn, you will grow, but to tweak, to learn and grow, you must take action. You must start. Sheryl Sandberg says, done is better than perfect. Have you done it? Yes, I've done it. I've not yet gotten everything right the way I want it, but based on information available to me and what I know right now, I have done it, and this is what I have done. Rather than, I didn't have all of the information, I was waiting for the perfect time, I was waiting to know more, and because of that, I have not started. Done is better than perfect. So today I challenge you, take that step, launch that podcast, write that proposal, update your LinkedIn profile, pitch that idea, apply for that role. Have a conversation with your supervisor. Book an appointment with your bank manager for that loan. Share your idea. Write that book. Start with chapter 1. Go to Bible school or go back to school. Learn a trade. Whatever it is that you need to do, do it. Because God doesn't bless perfection. He blesses our action. We even need to thank God that God is not looking for perfection. He's not looking for perfect people. If God, who created the heavens and the earth, is not telling us that He needs us to be perfect before we can approach Him, how can we mere mortals then say that all we are looking for is perfection? What we need is consistency. What we need is discipline. What we need is the excellence game. If we will succeed, we must take action. We need the courage to move. Many people fail because they are held captive by their fears. It takes courage to move without having all the answers available to you. But courage is built on what we know, the skills we have acquired, the knowledge we have gained, and the roles we have done before. Even though we have failed in them, it strengthens our resolve and gives us the courage to dare again. We do not need to wait any longer. We must step out in faith. We must do what needs to be done. We must believe in the process. We must take action. We must have faith. We must be courageous. And most of all, we must do what needs to get done to enable us have the courage and the temerity to dare. Because if you have not acquired the skills, if you have not learned the trade, if you have not read up, if you have not collated the data, if you have not written the business plan, and you just feel that this idea in my head, let me jump right in, that is not faith. That is foolishness. And we are not foolish people. We are intelligent people working together every day, learning together every day, growing together every day, because we are resolute that we will all win big together and succeed in 2025 and beyond. If this podcast resonated with you, if you find it useful, or there's someone you know who needs to hear this, please share our podcast. Like, comment, share your leadership journey. And when you were bold enough to make the first step, even when you did not have all of the answers, and how it turned out for you, and what you learned in the process, and how you grew through the process. Because at the end of the day, success awaits those who take action, not those who wait for perfection. Until our next episode, this is Sarah Esangwedo Ajose Adeogu of the Sarah Speaks podcast, wishing you a wonderful day. Thank you very much.